Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. Aloha.
Aloha to you too. Here we are. This is our episode number 72 of Our Energy Matters. For people who are new to us, I am a fan of Dena Marie's book. That she introduced her book to me when I was on her radio show, Lift Your Spirits, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And I wanted to pursue Our Energy Matters, which is the title of her book, and a couple of other titles. And because it just seemed so intriguing to me. I had very little sense of some of the spirituality that she was talking about, some of the spiritual modes, characteristics, healing factors, whatever you want. My language limps here, but the idea is that it was a way for me to nourish myself with spiritual healing and also with spiritual illumination. And so Dena Marie and I started communicating in our phone calls, and then we moved into recording. And what I would do is I would slip inside of her book and find whatever gave me some sense of who I might be, what kind of a life I wanted to live. And so every week I would come up with a piece of writing, as I have right in front of me right now. So I might as well just jump in. And I begin with Sikun Jema Mahisha Mema, which is good day, good life to our Swahili speaking viewers and listeners. And our title today, Pathways to Balanced Chakras. And to me, when I talk about them so glibly now, I had no idea what a chakra was. I mean, I heard it, of course, in the academic circles that I palled around with for 100 years of my life. But to learn, I wanted to learn. So I read here, Dena Marie, the entire tapestry of your grace-driven book with the uplifting titles. And I say titles because there are three of them. Number one, Our Energy Matters. Number two, The Art of Crystal Reading. That threw me. Crystal reading? What is she? And then I looked at her book, and she's got these crystals, these delicious crystals on her cover, and I thought they would make nice gummies. And then number three, the third title is where her seekers, her many clients like me, are encouraged to learn, this is the quote, to learn how to manifest their heartfelt intentions. And that also has taken on a deliberative, intuitive meaning to me, because it means that I can express my heartfelt intention each day to give me my grounding. And I love that. Your spiritually endowed book is electrified page by page with vital prescriptions, heartfelt guidance, and gracefully enlightening stories of folks who come to you for healing, divine intervention, and sacred solace. Page by page, alive with the energy fields you so faithfully, compassionately, and warmly turn on like electric currents. Here's one right here. This is an electric current from page 5. These 7 energy systems, these chakras, resonate and vibrate at the same frequency as their respective colors on the rainbow. You know, you don't glibly, walk over those words. I mean, it's like, okay, Anthony, stop now, and consider what you just said with the colors of the rainbow, and are the network through which the body, mind, and spirit can come together. Chakras are energy vortexes, discs that distribute universal life force energy throughout the body. And then this should be engraved and put on a placard over my computer somewhere. Clear up your chakras, and your every wish is our universe's command. And I
said that.
I know. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you wrote that, because I mean, it becomes meaningful only after you move step by step through the chakras. and you realize what.
And we were talking about editing. My ex-husband, he hated that. He hated that line. He wanted it out of the book. And I said, no, I like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, because when you go on and explain what the chakras are, and now with Dena Marie, Lady Grace, as I call her, a metaphysically anointed celestial alchemist, I am pausing at each chakra on the illuminated pathway that leads the way from earth, that's the root chakra, to water, the sacral chakra, to fire, the solar plexus chakra, to air, the heart chakra, to sound, the throat chakra, to light, the brow, to thought, the crown chakra. With Lady Grace, Dena Marie, I set out to fathom the light force guidance each chakra invites us to meditate on, opening our hearts and our minds to profound existential questions like, do I want to live a happy life? Do I want to live a life of soul searching and self-love? What about spirit, wonder, honesty? A life sanctioned by healthy, intersupportive, and interbeing relationships ordered and sustained by loving kindness? How do I find happiness? In a previous episode of Our Energy Matters, we explored the ecstatically endowed, the sixth brow chakra, interpreted as to see or light. In Our Energy Matters, Dena Marie, our celestial artist, mentor, wrote, the brow chakra or third eye chakra is associated with light, intellect, and consciousness. I make a leap here because I was struck by how often Dena Marie, Lady Grace, how often you, in your burnished role as a celestial artist, channel chakra energy to envelop mind, body, and soul with acts of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-respect. And that's exactly the show that you're putting together that's going to come up close to Valentine's Day. And I say it again, self-love, self-acceptance, self-respect, by resting in the openness of mind. And for example, on page 9, when you called to action the wonder of the fifth chakra, the throat, you wrote, I know who I am and what I want in life. Talk about an intention. And you illuminated the throat chakra with this enlightened intuitive revelation. Choosing our own expressive outlets allows us to freely communicate our most precious gift to the world, ourselves. Expressive outlets. See, for me right away, it's my writing, and then I see you in so many different expressive outlets that I can't keep up, and it's breathless.
I'm a triple Gemini. Three Gemini.
There we go. All right. So then you add the chakras lesson. This throat chakras lesson is knowing who we are and having the confidence to express ourselves to others. You can't imagine how much confidence that gives me as a writer, And I go back to that sentence a lot because, like when I first settle in to the writing for the day, let's say, it's a little bit of a shock, because you've come from the cup of coffee, you've come from the shadows, you've come, and all of a sudden you're in this realm, which can be very lonely, because you're by yourself and you're trying to imagine and intuit, and it can be very exciting, but it can also be a very lonely place sometimes because, you want to have someone like right here on my shoulder sitting there going, it's okay, Anthony, you can choose that word. Don't worry about it.
But that's when your higher chakras, you do have people behind you. You have this access through these chakras to most of the stuff that I say in a reading. People are like, you should write that down. I'm like, what did I say? I don't even know what I said. And then we write it down, and it's just, I've had 10 of them like sitting here because I don't know where it comes from. Or when we're exercising, we get that light bulb and you're like, dang, that's perfect. You got to go write it down real quick because it disappears. But that's being inspired. That's inspiration.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And it is like you're not alone. So when I say that, I almost contradict myself because I realize that there's there's a force or a power, a chakra, whatever, call whatever spiritual act it is that you are drawn to, and the other thing about it, which I keep learning from other writers, is, are you being honest? And that is so important to me, because I don't want it to be, I don't want the story I'm working on now to be fake, but it is creation, it's taking nothing and making something out of it, in a sense.
Well, and also that creative side to do what that book was a test, because my ex-husband was very powerful. And there were so many times he wanted it to be done. He didn't want to like sit next to me and edit or anything like that. But he wanted me to take out half the book, really. And I said no. I said no. And thank God what you just read, those are parts he just wanted it to be a how-to, and he'd edit it for me. But I put the stories about other people. So if he and I were sitting side by side writing a book, it would have been ugly.
Yeah, no, I understand. Because I mean, it's one thing to, if I'm really want to be honest, I'll be in a writer's group, and right now I almost think I need that, but I can't bring myself to that. I wasn't in a writer's group for a long time, and they're good people. It was like they were sitting right next to me as I was writing. But I mean, we would each bring pages, and they were always very gentle, and they would be very honest, and it was really good to be that way. But I wouldn't want to be with someone who's going to censor me.
No. Or you're trying to please them. Like, remember I told you the little boy who picked the pink stone when his dad walked away?
Yes.
In the book. And it's because he wanted to please. And that is not self-love. That is not self-respect. It's not, this is what this is all about in our shows. I come here and I get to be myself. But when you're a little kid, you're in a house, you don't have a lot of power. But as adults, we do. So we just make different choices. And you and I like to dance, and I like crystals, and I have to be me. And I think I even told you today, I love myself. But it's taken a long time to actually not care about how much money I have or the way I look or all these things that aren't even important, right? How we feel is important every day.
So tell me what you think. Absolutely. I mean, tell me what you think about a balanced throat chakra.
For instance, our conversations are balanced. We just, sometimes I do talk over you because I get excited. That's kind of because I live alone. I'm noticing I get so excited I don't have anyone to talk to during the day. So I like get with people, I'm like blah 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 blah. But that's an open chakra. Okay. So what I need to do is probably talk to more people during the day, but the dogs now listen to me, so it's all good. A throat chakra is balanced when you have an inner voice that says, you're good, you can do it, let's get the party started. That's your inner voice, right? And then there's your outer voice. Those people that say, I'm sick and tired, life sucks. Well, that's another whole story, right? So if they're saying it out loud, they're probably thinking it too. And now they're going to create that reality. They're probably going to get sick. They are tired, retired. But the throat chakra, when it's healthy, you listen more, and you're listening to your inner voice and not the worry, over analyzing, playing back the past. I know when my heart is blocked here, if I'm mad at someone, because I have this constant voice in my head and it's replaying the past. And I hate that. I mean, I hate the word hate, but you're driving yourself crazy. So then I'll start breathing and I'll think of my grandkids, and then I can reopen my heart, and then my chatter dies down.
Beautiful.
So with people with broken hearts, tend to they're paralyzed, paralysis of analysis. Woo.
Yeah. And I think that you just said something that's so important to me, because again, as in my writing life, because I'm reading a book about, not so much about craft, but about the psychology of writing, about where you can be. And you would love this book, because I mean, one of the things that he says is, you're not writing this book to get critiqued. You're not writing this book to please people. You're writing this book because you like yourself as a writer, and you feel like you have a story to tell. And I go back to that paragraph and try to reread it, because it's so easy to get caught up with, well, I'm going to publish this, aren't I? Aren't I going to publish this? Aren't I going to send it out? Aren't I going to, and no, I don't know if I'm going to publish it. I'm writing it for myself, and I'm writing it for my partner who's an illustrator, because he wants to look at it to find me,
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm doing it for that reason. And then the other day, the worker who came to paint a room in the house that Don is trying to sell, his brother's old house, we gave him a copy for his son of Loukas and the Game of Chance. Just because I was nice. I just felt like I really wanted to go. The kid is 9 years old and it's a perfect book for that age. Well, then he took a picture of his son holding the book up, and the kid is like, just so, and I thought that's why we write, and
Yep.
especially
And
when
I have to say, you know what I still get? I gave books away all over the world probably. And I'll get somebody on Facebook and they'll take a picture of it and they have the heart piece of paper I gave them with their prescriptions on it. And actually one just sent it to me, and now I'm going to do a reading with her because she's right across the way on the mainland. So that is, it's like a calling card, and you never know who read it and how it touched their lives. So yeah, writing, singing, anytime we are creative, that's your throat chakra.
Yeah, there we go. And I said, when I went to the prescriptions for the chakras on pages 52 to 53, you say to the throat, sing, write, draw, play an instrument, paint, work with clay or wood. And you just said it. It's that it's moving in that direction of, well, it is. You're respecting yourself. And
well, and I have to say too, when I wrote the book, I not just the throat chakra, but how these are connected. So, the formula of if one's blocked or one's open and what happens, but our conversations, we're talking from our hearts. So that's super therapeutic. We're telling each other how we feel. If I have an idea or you have an idea, this brow chakra, you and I are communicating ideas. I never tell you, you can't talk to me or you can't say that. I never say, oh, that's a dumb idea. But no, people say that, right? People say stupid things.
Oh, of course they do.
Children, they'll say, oh, that's a dumb idea. And then you quit talking about what you see. You quit talking about how you feel. This is where we get sick, very sick. And I had mono, asthma, you name whatever you could have right here. I had it because I was raised in a house. I'd say my mom was stoic, but she was trained. You do not show emotion, none. And you're not even seen or heard. You're just like, I'm just not seen. I'm not heard. I'm not anything. So I grew up with this major, major health problems that I do not have. I don't have any of those things. How I grew out of everything, even sore throats.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think that so often when we're growing up, we're told to not be ourselves, and that's one of the major themes in literature for children, which I've spent so many of my years, working on. That's one of the major themes, is learning to be yourself. And it comes up over and over again. And that gives me a good idea to make a book list, to broadcast it on my website. Learning to be yourself, coming to love yourself.
Yeah. And be authentic and be around people that cheer you on. Like we did a show together and you met one of my friends. Those are the people that bring me joy. And my health is always going to increase. And if I'm around people, I can be myself, talk to, be silly, have fun, laugh. And people just, like in my life, I have my many lives in this life. I was in a church I didn't want to go to. I was married to a man I didn't want to be married to. I was doing things with people I didn't even enjoy their company. And it was always to please those other people. I used to have stuff on my wall that I didn't even like, but someone gave it to me. Yeah. It was crazy. And it's in the book too. You just got to get to the point where you start saying yes to yourself and no to other people. Then you're yourself. People know who you are. And life is good. It's so crazy. I don't know why we're trained to give up pieces of ourselves,
We're going to have to find an important way to answer that question. All right. we need to end there, but I just think that I say to everyone, if you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 11:50 a.m. KKNW on Friday mornings. Her website is dena-marie.com, and you can go there and find out about the radio program, her radio show, but you can also find out a lot about her and her daily chakra insight into chakra energy, blockage, and prescriptions. You'll find often on her Facebook page, and also gorgeous photographs of the island that she inhabits and that she respects so much. My website for an interview with Dena Marie is anthonymannabooks.com. And if you go there to anthonymannabooks.com, you go to the Podbean podcasts, where you'll find interviews, lots of interviews. One of them with Dena Marie, my dear friend, colleague, co-conspirator. And, and so such goodness. And thank you so much, Dena Marie.
We are truly blessed. That's for sure.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Have a good week. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.